All right, welcome back to Money Rich TV, man. Y'all in the BROUGHAM zone with California BROUGHAM. I'm right here finna interview one of my good friends, brother to me.
No.
Definitely a stomp down individual. You know, we gonna start from the top and then get into it. So, what's cracking, bro?
What's up with it, bro? How you doing, man? Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Put me on your platform, man.
No
you know
doubt,
what I'm saying?
no doubt,
Appreciate
no
it,
doubt.
man.
Shit,
You know,
man.
first of many to come, man. You know.
Real talk. So let's get cracking. All right, so man, what's your name, man? What they call you out here, man?
My government name is, they want to call it, my name is Rashawn Frederick Burton. You know, my family and friends call me Rock. You know, that's the name my uncle gave me when I was a youngster. He said I had a head hard like a rock, so you know, rock stuck. You know, but you know, my entertainment name is Smokeshop Rock. You know, my partner right here doing the interview gave me that nickname. If you'd like to know how I came, he said I used to smoke the blunts down to nothing. You know, Smoke Shop. I smoke it all up, so that's how I got the Smoke Shop. You know,
Smokeshop Rock. Real talk. Where were you born and raised at, man?
well, I was born in San Leandro, Vesper Memorial Hospital, raised in Oakland. Went to stay with my grandmother for a few years in Visalia. Came back to Oakland in the 3rd grade. I've been rooted in Oakland ever since. Town business to the fullest.
Okay, no doubt. What's your family dynamic? Mother, father, brothers? You got only child? What's
that? I had 3 older brothers. One of my brothers passed away. Rest in peace, Willie Bo. You know what I'm saying? He passed away while I was just in the feds. Then I got an older brother, Anthony.
Okay.
I got another brother named Dwayne. I got a few step brothers and my mama, you know, the queen of my heart, Ollie Ray Smith. You know, my daddy wasn't around, you know what I'm saying? He was in and out of prison on drugs and shit, but, you know, I still got love for him, but I was raised by my stepfather, rest in peace, Smitty, AKA Robert.
Okay. Where you go to school at?
Well, you know, I done went to a few schools. I went to school in Visalia, but mostly I went to E. Morris Cox, Elmhurst, Castlemont.
Okay.
You know,
You went to college, any?
a few months at Laney, but you know, it was over with. I went to Laney for a few months, and next thing you know, it was on to the P-Lether.
Okay. All right, shit. When was your first time going to jail, and what you go to jail for?
Well, you know, growing up, I really wasn't a get in trouble type of kid. You know what I'm saying? It was mostly once I graduated high school, I got to, you know, I sold a little drugs here and there, you know, but then I started hitting licks. And I first called my first case was 1996 for a bank robbery. And then after that, it was downhill.
Okay. Bank robbery, damn. What made you want to rob a bank?
You know what? You know, trying to get some fast money. You know, growing up, you want all the shit you see everybody else having, and you really ain't trying to work for the shit. So you like, you know, me and a couple of my partners, you know, right here, my man interviewing me. You know, we ain't gonna say no names, but we can say some names. You know, my older brother, we came up with a scheme to, you know, hit a bank, man, and you know, we hit the bank, and we would have been cool, but you know what happens, man. You know,
No doubt.
shit happens, man.
Shit definitely happens. Yeah, no doubt. So, but that you was already kind of doing other stuff before you got there to kind of just active on others.
Other ends, mostly, you know, selling a little weed here, selling a little cream here and there, but you know, you know, wasn't too much, and you know, just basic hood shit, really.
Yeah. Well, how much time they end up giving you for the bank robbery?
For the bank robbery, well, it's a long story behind that, right? See, my original deal I was supposed to get 12 months in a halfway house, because I got charged with misimprisonment of a felony. And for those who don't know, that's knowing about the crime but didn't do nothing to prevent it. So I pleaded to 12 months in a halfway house, and my co-defendants, one got 32 months, and the other one got 36 months. But while I was out on bond from the feds, I ended up catching another few robberies. A few robberies here and there. So I ended up getting 6 years with 85% in the state, and then they ended up running it concurrent. So I went to the pen, and I ended up going to the pen in 1997, and I got out in 2002.
Okay. That's a 5-year stretch.
Yeah, I did 5 years, at the age of 18, still a youngster, man, not knowing shit.
That was your first.
My first time ever in jail. I ain't never been to jail, never in my life till then. That was my first time ever in jail. Never been to juvenile hall, never been to the city jail, no county, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Went straight. That was my first case ever in my life. So,
how did moms react to you?
She, like probably she was more shocked than anything, you know what I'm saying? She really, cause your parents really don't know what you doing. They just see, just from the house, they don't really know what you doing. So when I called and, I was on that video screen when she came and visited me, she broke down, she cried, I can't believe it. And, she was just more shocked than anything because that ain't really the way I was raised, you know what I'm saying?
And you the youngest.
Yeah, and I was the youngest, she didn't, because, like I say, I ain't, all my brothers been to prison, you know what I'm saying? So she thought I was going to be the one that wasn't going to go to prison, you feel what I'm saying? So she was kind of heartbroken. But, she took it in stride, though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like any mother going to do.
Yeah.
Now the first time going to the pen.
Yeah,
first crime.
First crime. But it wasn't my last though. Yeah. That's for damn sure.
Let me see. So, of course, we know you had a couple of crimes that didn't deal with them. So, you ever been snitched on?
Yeah, I got some. They say you find out who your real partners is, man, when you get in that frying pan, man, and. One motherfucker who I thought was really one of my best friends, man, that I grew up with, stayed right around the corner from me, man. When the motherfucker caught the bank robbery, man, told on us. Didn't even have to tell shit. He didn't have to say a motherfucking thing, you know what I'm saying? And a motherfucker didn't know he told till we went to court. And, me and my other partner, the other partner, we all in the bullpen. We looking around like, man, where this nigga at, man? You know what I'm saying? Nigga like, man, where the fuck this nigga at, man? And this nigga over here, Subway sandwiches and shit, man, so.
Like 4 people got arrested, 3 people got charged. That's really what happened.
Yeah, my interviewer, he feels it because, I'm just gonna put it out, he's one of my crimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it was just, I've been snitched on. It's like it was a shock, man, because you figure a motherfucker you done slept in cars with and you done did all type of shit. Clothes with, you know what I'm saying? And
struggle meals and all this
you think a
stuff.
motherfucker gonna keep it solid and, motherfucker didn't keep it solid, so, it is what it is.
No doubt, yeah. When you got to the pen or when you know after you realized everything, it was ugly and you was on your way to the pen, was you scared? Was you nervous?
I was more, because, growing up, you look at the movies and shit, you know what I'm saying? And you be like, damn, I wonder is it really like that? So I would say I wasn't scared, I was more nervous.
Yeah.
Because I ain't never been through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was more nervous. But I will say the thing that kind of prepared me most, and people might say it might be crazy, it was a blessing, because when I went to the county jail, Santa Rita, I was in the pile with my brother. Rest in peace, Willie Bowe.
Okay.
And he kind of, he told me, what to expect and how to conduct myself in that motherfucker. And that's how I've been conducting myself throughout life. You know what I'm saying? So, he told me how to conduct myself in that motherfucker, so.
All right, I didn't know that. That's what's up. So when you got there, did it live up to the reputation of what you had heard and what you thought it was gonna be going in there, plus what bruh had told you?
Let me see. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
it's kind of
no.
like, it's like, no. It's like, for me, it was more like I'm on my own. You ain't got no friends with you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no partners. You ain't got no family. You know, it's just you.
Yeah,
You know, and just, but like they say, you always gonna run into some people that you know from the street.
no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And when I was on that bus leaving from Santa Rita, going to San Quentin in 1997, it's like only a few people know this. It's like, I don't know if nobody remember that song by Sebo, Straight Killer, and that one verse popped up in my head, you know what I'm saying? Shackled up on the Grey Goose, and now I'm on my own, you know what I'm saying? No more OGs looking over me, I'm on my own. So it's like, you gotta grow up fast, man. Ain't no more little kid shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's, like a motherfucker told me, you're gonna be predator or you're gonna be prey.
Yeah.
So
What's the first thing that happened in the pen that let you know, okay, it's serious business in here? You know, after you already went in there with your mind state like, okay, I'm finna go down, I'm finna handle my business. But of course, like we all gonna do, if you a 100,
I think when I walked in West Block, they got the big double doors. I'm gonna try to paint a picture for you. It's like when you go through R&R, they strip you out and do all the shit, bend over, cough, degrade you, do all the shit they do. And then you get your property and you're walking up the West Block. And for those who don't know, San Quentin is one of the oldest prisons in California. And when you walk up in West Block, it got two big ass double doors. This shit look like a castle. You know what I'm saying? It's like you walking up and shit is just regular, quiet. And it's like when they open up the motherfucking doors and you walk up in that motherfucker and you just hear all the screaming and the noise, and then you look up and you see them goddamn tears and you just like, fuck. I hope they don't put me way up there.
Yeah.
And then you look around and you see the motherfucking catwalk, and then you see the COs with the mini 14s, and you looking around, and the shit that caught my eye when it was like no warning shots. And I was like, no warning shots? And there was a motherfucker next to me who was like, yeah, nigga, you don't get down there, shoot your ass. And I was just like, damn, this shit real. You know what I'm saying? This shit real.
So it didn't even take for nothing to even pop off. It just took for you to walk in there and just feel the energy in that mug.
Like, this motherfucker real. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit real. For real.
Well, was it a lot of people, old myths and stereotypes of prison fools feel like it's gonna be people in there trying to take your manhood, and it's gonna be hella homosexual activity going on in this other whatever?
It ain't. I will say that's kind of like a myth. Maybe they used to be like that back in the day, in the 60s, 70s, raping motherfuckers and all that shit, but it's like, they got faggots and punks and that motherfucker for that shit. So it's like, motherfucker ain't.
If you want it, you ain't gotta take it.
You ain't gotta
just
take it from a
get
motherfucker if you want it. If that's
what you into.
If that's what you into.
Yeah.
You feel me? So if you into Sagoonies, as you call them, the Swahili word for punks, Sagoonies, if that's what you into, they got them in there for you.
No doubt. I can dig that. Well, we out here in Cali, so I know other areas stuff be a little bit different between the races and stuff. It might be a little bit more commingling amongst the races, but I know out here in California, we kind of more on a racial divide out here in when you get behind the walls. So was it a lot of racial tension out there or in there when you was in there?
Yeah, it's always racial tension in prison because you got the ABs, which is the Aryan brother. Then you got regular white boys, California. If you're not an AB, you got motherfuckers from Sacramento. They call them the Sacramaniacs. You know what I'm saying? You got motherfuckers from Cocoa County. They call them, I I forgot what the fuck they call themselves Woods. You feel what I'm saying? And then you just, and then you got the Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? You got the Sureños, which is the southern Mexicans, and you got the Norteños, which is the northern Mexicans. Then you got the Crips, and you got the Bloods, and you got the Border Brothers, and you got the Paisas. But at the end of the day, it's everybody against the blacks. You know what I'm saying? So straight up. And then you got the Bay Area, you know what I'm saying? Then you got all the prison gangs and shit. You got the 415, which is the Kumi, and you got JAMA, which is BGF. So it's like everything is, it's real political and it's racial though, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like the Southern Mexicans don't fuck with the blacks, unless it's some business. You can't eat after no other race. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can't eat after no black. You know what I'm saying? Blacks really don't trip. We really don't be on that racial shit in prison and be the other races. So, but for the most part, yeah, it's racial for sure, 100%.
I know you've been in the state and the Fed. What you say is the difference? What's the differences to you between the state penitentiary and the federal penitentiary?
Yeah, that's kind of, I was one of them when I just got out the feds. I've been home about almost a year. And the biggest difference to me is like the feds, you have a lot of cars. You got cars. And you got people from all walks of life. You got people from all over the United States. It ain't just a California thing. You know what I'm saying? You got a hella different other motherfuckers you got to deal with. For instance, it's like, for me, I'm from Oakland, so I was in the Bay car. And then you got the Crips, the Crip car. And you got the Bloods, the Blood car. And then you got the Southsiders. They don't call them Sureños in the feds. They call them Southsiders. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Norteños, but Norteños can't be on certain yards. Then you got the Paisas, and that's really the one big difference. It's like the Paisas is the biggest gang in the feds. In the state, the Paisas is nobodies, but in the feds, they somebody. And then you're gonna have a Muslim car, and then you're gonna have a down south car, and then you're gonna have an East Coast car. You know what I'm saying? So it's just more cars than anything. And what I will say, it's like coming from the state, it's like when you in the state and you go into court, it's like everybody knows your case. So it's like paperwork is serious, but it ain't that serious. It is though, because motherfucker know if you tell him, you get in the business. But it's like, with the feds, it's like, if you don't show no paperwork, you can't come on the yard. Plain and simple. And you getting 30 days and niggas is pushing a hard line. I will say that about the feds. Niggas is pushing a real hard line on that paperwork.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, because you coming from a whole nother state, possibly, or you might be from Northern Cali, but we in the California Federal Institution or whatever, and they want to know who you are, what you been up to. You know what I'm saying?
And one thing I will tell you, if your work ain't right, you might as not step on the yard, man. Just go straight to the hole. And that's what a lot of motherfuckers do. So
straight up. That's wild. You would get caught up in any riots or anything when you was in there?
I done had a couple squabbles. I got into a riot one time in the state with some Crips. Fucking with my partner Big Charlie from the West, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? We done had a few Mexican standoffs with some Mexicans in the feds and the state. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, cooler heads prevail. It ain't nothing that can't be talked out.
Okay.
But I ain't per se, it's like it's just a straight full scale race riot. No, I ain't never been in a race riot.
Okay. Shit, so you say when you went to jail the first time, you say you went to jail for 5 years, 6 years for the most part. When you got out, how long did you stay out when you got out that first time?
Okay, I got out in 2002 and I was right back in jail July. I got out February of 2002. I was right back in jail the day after the 4th of July. I caught a violation. I got 6 months. I got pulled over. I was parked the wrong way on the street, first off. Had some sacks of weed in the car. Got the sacks of weed. They dropped the weed case, gave me a violation. I got 6 flat. That was my first violation.
You was out for 4 months?
I was out for 4 months.
You already had sacks of weed on you after 4 months?
Yeah, I got out. It wasn't I was right back at it. And it was like, I came home and it was like, my niggas, they was, doing their thing. They tried to steer me in the right direction, but at the end of the day, you trying to get some money. You feel me? Finding a job is hard when you're a felon, no experience. You know what I'm saying? So shit. You keep asking a motherfucker for some shit, or to the point to where you like, well, fuck it, bro, let me pay for it, or just, I just started selling weed.
End up going back in 4 months.
Yeah, I was back in 4 months. I was back. I went right back, got a 6-month violation, 6 flat. Gave me 6 flat.
And then when you got out that time, how long you stay out that time?
I got out from that. I stayed out about 8 months. Went right back again. Same shit. Possession for sales.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Selling weed. Same shit.
Yeah.
Just a revolving door. You know what I'm saying? Revolving fucking door.
How much time you get that time?
If I'm not mistaken, I think I ended up getting 2.5.
2.5.
About 2 years with halftime, so I did about 13 months total.
Okay.
So
13 months.
that was my 3rd time back to prison.
So you got out, stayed out for about 3-4 months, went back, did 6 months.
Got out for like 8, and I stayed out like 8-9 months again, and caught the case.
And went back and did a year.
Went back and did a year and some change. I think I got 3.5 and did 18 months.
Yeah,
I might have did 18 months.
And then when you got out that time, I know you was like, man, I'm finna stay
I said I was gonna, it's easy to say.
Yeah.
Everybody say I ain't never coming back, I ain't never coming back to this shit. But it's like, if you don't change what you're doing, you're gonna get the same results.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, so I got right back out and got right back to it, doing the same shit.
So after this 18 months, how long you stay out after the 18 months?
I probably stayed out about I can laugh at it now. I probably stayed out about 10 months again.
10 months.
And caught another possession for sales.
Was that me and you?
Yeah, that was me and you. That's when I went back, did some dumb shit, some shit you ain't even supposed to do. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I did some straight cornball shit. You feel me? It was my fault.
Yeah, that was mania right there.
Straight cornball shit, but I ended up getting 2 years with that. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay. 2 years, damn, okay. 2 years with half on that?
Got 2 years with half. Everything after that, because I always told myself I wasn't picking up no pistols no more, so I wasn't doing no robberies. I wasn't sure if I was going to go back, it was going to be for halftime. It wasn't going to be no motherfucking 85%. That's for damn sure.
I feel it. So you went back, so we got out after 5, 6, then you stayed out for...
I stayed out for a minute.
4 months.
Yeah, I stayed out for 4.
Went back for 6.
Went back for 6.
Got out for 8 and went back for 18 and then got out for 10 and went back for
about another 13 months. I got about 13 months.
So all together. So wait, we still ain't over. So now we out after. Now we out after.
Basically, about that time I had 4 prison priors, 1 violation, and 2 cases. My first case, then I caught the violation, and 2 more cases. So I got 4. I done been to the pen 4 times. This is before I turned 35. I don't even think I was 30 yet.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I don't even think I was 30.
You might have been though.
I might have just been turning 30 or
'cause
some
you
shit
had-
like that.
you
I got
did
out when I was
18
25.
18 months.
Yeah, I figure I got out when I was 25
Yeah.
from the 6. I got out when I was 25, so I might have been 30, 31, something like that. So then, you know, I was doing cool. I was still doing, you know, hustling. You know what I'm saying? Nigga wasn't working. I was hustling, but I was hustling cool. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker had tried to do some different shit. You know, motherfucker started fucking with the bank, started, you know, fucking with the credit cards and doing some different shit, and I was doing cool. I was still doing other shit on the side, but I was doing cool. But I was still on parole. You feel what I'm saying? So did some shit happen out of state. The bitch went to jail and some bogus shit happened, and the bitch told on the motherfucker, went to my parole officer, told on my parole officer that I was out of state, so I got a violation, being 50 miles out my radius. I ended up doing 90 days in Rita, but that was, I finally killed my number.
Yeah.
And I did 90 days in Rita. You know what I'm saying?
That was another time somebody snitched on you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? For some shit I didn't even do. I didn't take the bitch, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You know, but you know, it's neither here nor there. Whatever happened.
So you got all that, got you off parole.
I finally got off parole. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then when I got, I mean, if you just want to keep going, I got out again.
Yeah,
And I stayed out this time till like 2012. And then the motherfucker went out of town fucking with the banks, got caught up with some bitches. You feel me? And bitches told on a motherfucker, bitch get caught up in the bank. You feel me? And the bitch told on the motherfucker. I was on my way back to the airport and got pulled over by the police in Wyoming. You know?
Now you out in Wyoming.
I was in Wyoming. I bailed out. I fought the case for like 8-9 months. I ended up doing 18 to 24 months out there in Wyoming.
In Wyoming, damn.
You know, and that shit was crazy. It was like, it was only 5 black motherfuckers on the whole yard.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So.
What was they politics the same as Cali for the most?
No, because they put you in the cell with a white boy. They didn't really have no politics. They didn't give a fuck.
Straight up.
You going in the cell. If you ain't going in the cell with this motherfucker, you go into the hole.
That part.
That was my first time ever being in a cell with a white boy. You feel me? I remember walking in the county jail. I walked to the cell. The white boy came in behind me. I was like, man, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
He was like, man, I'm coming to cell. I was like, man, you ain't coming up in here with me. And he looked at the police. Was like, man, what you talking about here? I'm like, man, he ain't coming in here with me. And he ain't selling up with no white boy. He was like, man, where you from? I was like, man, I'm from Cali, man. He was like, oh yeah, we ain't political out here. You get in the cell with anybody or you taking your ass to the shoe. So I was like, fuck it. Get your ass up in here. You feel what I'm saying? I wasn't finna go to the shoe for no bullshit, make my time no harder. Plus I'm out of state. I don't know nobody out here, but it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I didn't have no problems.
You know,
Yeah, at the end of the day, you've been in one jail, you've been to them all.
Yeah, that part. You know what I'm saying? So, man, so now you out in Wyoming, you do basically what?
I did
2 years?
No, I did 12. I did 12 months in the prison, and I did a program. See, out there, when you go to prison, you got to go to the parole board. You feel what I'm saying? So I went to the parole board. I took the program, but since I wasn't gonna have no probation, they denied the parole and just sent me to a halfway house out there. So I went to the halfway house out there. You know what I'm saying? And I was doing cool at the halfway house, and you know what I'm saying? I was in the halfway house out there, and I got out, and you know, I was doing cool. I had a little fake ass job, but then I got fired. And my girl was like, you coming home? I'm like, nah, I'm finna get a job out here in the oil field. They making too much money out here, you know? And then one thing led to another, and shit went haywire again for your boy. You know?
End up catching, what happened out there?
I started selling meth, you know what I'm saying? You know, and being from Oakland, you like, well, shit, I can get it. You know, I was talking to this motherfucker and he told me what he was getting it for. I'm like, well, shit, I can get it for way cheaper than that. And still double my money, damn near triple my money. You know what I'm saying? So I just started selling meth out there. You know, selling meth, running it off. And you know, at the end of the day, it always comes down to motherfucker got told on.
Damn.
So I ended up catching a case out there, bail out. Was fighting the case for a minute. And then the next thing I know, you know, I was still, but see the crazy part, I was out on bail and I was still doing my thing though. I know it sounds crazy, but the money was just too good, man. That shit was, you know, the money was good. So, you know, motherfucker blinded by money and greed, you know, that shit'll blind you, man. And you know what I'm saying? And just, that shit had a hold of me, man. I ain't, you know, I've been selling drugs a long time and I ain't never seen no money like that Wyoming money selling meth, man. You know what I'm saying? And motherfucker ended up telling on me. And then one day I was going to pick my clothes up from the cleaners and got pulled over out on bail. And motherfucker told me they had a warrant for my arrest. You know what I'm saying? Ended up going to jail. I'm still fighting the case, so I'm going back and forth to court. And then my lawyer one day came to me and was like, he was like, yeah, the state dropping the case, but the Fed's picking it up. I was like, the Fed's picking it up? I'm like, man, the Feds? I'm like, man, I ain't moving no kilos or none of that shit. You feel me? But out there, you know, the Feds is, you know, you're selling meth. If you're selling 50 grams or more, they can pick it up. And that's what I got charged with, conspiracy to distribute methamphetamines 50 grams or more. You know, this is my second federal case.
And for those that don't know, 50 grams ain't even 2 ounces. You know what I'm saying? A little bit less than 2 ounces. So the feds will come get you for less than 2 ounces of meth, man. And how much time you end up getting for that?
And it's like the feds work different, man. They vicious. The feds is vicious. You know what I'm saying? And they vicious. So it's like how I work with the feds, they work shit on a point system. Your criminal history, you feel what I'm saying? And it's like they got criminal history 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's like every time you done been to prison, every time you done did more than a year and a day, they give you 3 points for it. So you know I got 4, 5 prison priors. You feel what I'm saying? So in the feds, you can get charged as career criminal. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was looking at when I first went to the feds. And I was like, I tried to play them like the state, like, man, give me 10. I'll take 10 right now. Just let me get 10 and go on about my business. And that was the first time I really know the feds play hardball. And the motherfucking U.S. attorney was like, 10? Why would I give you 10 and you ain't giving me no information? I was like, information? I'm like, oh yeah, well, you ain't gonna get no information from me. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the only thing that saved me, you know, I had a cool magistrate when I went to court. You know what I'm saying? Because I had 12 criminal history points, which is category 6. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you get 3 points for every prior felony you got. And they got the criminal history is at the top, and then they got the guidelines on the side. You know what I'm saying?
Which is the point.
Which is what the case carries. Yeah. So it might be, you might have a 31 with a criminal history of 6, and the 31, and you go over to the scale, and it might say 150 months to 188 months. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the feds work. So I went and the judge was like, because I was perfect career criminal candidate. You know what I'm saying? 2 prior possession for sales, you know. And the judge, he was like, man, I'm not going to career you. I'm just going to keep you in your guidelines because your criminal history is at a 6 anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I had a 20, I think I had a 30, and they gave me 3 points of acceptance of responsibility basis. That's saying, yeah, I was selling the dope. Yeah, I take responsibility for selling the dope. That's not telling on nobody.
Yeah.
That just, you get the points for it. It's not a downward departure. It's a acceptance of responsibility, and then take 3 points off. So I ended up going to 27 and 6. I ended up getting 160 months, which is 13 years, 4 months. So I ended up getting sentenced to 13 years, 4 months in the feds. That was in 2016.
Damn. And
2015, 16.
2015, okay.
Yeah.
And you just got out when?
I just got out May of 2025. You know what I'm saying?
So this stretch you did how much time?
I did a little over 10.
A little over 10.
I did a little over 10. It's the longest I ever did. And I'll say that doing this time in the feds changed my whole aspect of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers will throw away the key, man. They ain't giving a nigga life sentences. They giving you months. I've been in the feds, man. This motherfuckers that got 400 months. Do the math. This motherfuckers that got 360 months. Do the math. You feel me? You get 240 months, that's 20 years.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? They got motherfuckers in there, doing 60, 50, 60 years and taking it on the chin. You know what I'm saying? No, they ain't never getting back.
Yeah.
They ain't giving you life.
But it's gonna be life.
But it's gonna feel like life. Especially if you 40. You know what I'm saying? You 40, you got 300 months, shit, it's damn near over with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you gonna do every bit of that because you're going to a USP. You're gonna put in a whole bunch of work. You feel me? So, but that gave me a change of heart, man, to have me come home and do some right shit this time, you know what I'm saying? And that's the path I'm on now, you know what I'm saying?
What was it like during that time, like with your family and your girl and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, with moms and your brothers and all of that, you know?
Well, you know, it's kind of like, you know, your mama, you know, you just praying everybody be there when you get home.
Yeah.
Especially your mama, your father. You just praying they be home. They be there when you get there. They can come see you, because it's like the feds. It ain't like you in California. They can ship you. Just luckily for me, I got luckily and did all my time in California. Besides when I did the RDAP program and went to Arizona, but my mama stayed in Arizona, so that was a plus.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's like, it's a strain on your relationship too, man, especially if you got a girl and you go do 10 years. It's like a lot happens in 10 years on the street. In the feds and jail, 10 years, it's the same shit every day. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing too different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But on the street, it's a whole 10 years is a lot of time on the street, man, you know, and that's why I got a lot of love for my girl, because she stayed down, you know, and had my back to the fullest, 100%, you know, and it's hard, and I respect any woman that fuck with a nigga that's in prison, especially with a motherfucker that got a lot of time and be loyal and stay true, you know what I'm saying, and I never had to want for nothing or nothing in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? By the grace of God, you know, so, but it's a strain, because, you know, the travel, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like I was getting old. I did 10 years and didn't see my girl not one time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's tough. It was just telephone. And then I got in some trouble one time, and shit, I didn't talk to her for hella long because I was in the shoe. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's like, and then, you know, this stretch was tough because, you know, I went through it in one of the worst times in U.S. history, COVID.
Yeah. What was it like being locked up during COVID?
Shit, he was 23 hours. He was basically,
in the
you
hole.
might as well say 24-hour lockdown. Motherfucker wasn't coming out of cell. He was coming out 15 minutes to take a shower. That's it.
Damn.
I didn't talk to my people for 2 months. They wasn't letting us use the phone or none of that shit. If you wasn't writing letters or none of that shit, you wasn't talking to your people. You was getting $25 a week of commissary.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? We did that for 2 months straight. When COVID hit in 2020, when COVID really hit, April. When that shit was just full blown and that shit took a toll on motherfuckers in prison. Motherfuckers was killing themselves and all type of shit. You know? Motherfuckers was dying in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
So that shit was a tough time.
Hit the pen kind of hard.
Hell yeah. Every prison, state, county, feds. That COVID shit was vicious.
Yeah.
You know? But like I said, the grace of God, I made it through that shit. I caught it.
Yeah.
But I was asymptomatic. I didn't have no symptoms. So I was just, you know, I was blessed to be in good health.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, you can get deeper into COVID and all that shit, but you know, nigga made it, man.
Yeah. So now, with all this time you done did, how much time you think you done did overall?
You gotta figure I'm 49, finna be 50. I've been coming in and out of prison since 1996. So I figure I done probably did about a good dub. Probably more than that. But I'm gonna say a soft dub for sure.
10, 5.
I done did 10, I done did 6, 10, 5, that's 15. And then I done did 18. I done did a dub and some change.
Yeah.
Almost half my life been in and out of prison for a motherfucker that didn't get in no trouble as a kid. That's the crazy shit about it. A motherfucker didn't have no juvenile record and none of that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Nigga had aspirations to go into the NFL. Once a nigga graduated high school and see this shit was real, it was like, well, shit, nigga, what you gonna do?
Yeah, that part.
The motherfucker just made bad choices. But you know, like they always say, would I go back and do anything different? I say no. Because it made me who I am today. You know what I'm saying? So I just take it all as a blessing, man. Part of me growing up, part of me becoming a man.
Yeah. Yeah, you went through it, you survived, you're still here, and you're still able to live and have a good life ahead of you, you know what I'm saying? And
on top of all that, I stayed solid.
Yeah,
Stayed solid all the way through.
No doubt about it. But
you
know, if you wasn't solid, you wouldn't be here interviewing with the broom. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm just talking. Well, that's true though. No.
Yeah, that's 100% true. For sure.
But you know, I mean, he did what was expected. What motherfuckers already knew he was gonna do. That's why his name Rock solid. So you already know what was gonna happen. But so moving forward now, after all of that, you know, what's your plans to stop that cycle that you've been going through for the last 20 years and some change of getting out and going back and getting out and going back?
One thing I've learned is like if you got to have some type of business, man, either you gonna work for a motherfucker or work for yourself. Because at the end of the day, these white folks want their taxes, man. I don't give a fuck how you give it to them. They want it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got cannabis clubs now. They the biggest dope dealers in the world now. But the motherfucking federal government want their goddamn taxes off that shit. Somehow, some way. And it's like at the end of the day, man, it's the first time I really had a job. You know, and I got a good job and I like what I do. I will say I like what I do. You feel what I'm saying? I work at a homeless shelter now in San Francisco. And it's just like it reminds me of being in prison. Not to just helping people out. You feel what I'm saying? And the less fortunate and shit like that, you feel me? And it's just it just keep me on my toes, man. Cause it's like you can be one step away from being in the same position that the homeless people was in, and that's what keep me on my toes, man. And I know I ain't got no more chances. At the end of the day, regardless of whatever the fuck, I know I ain't got no more chances.
That
you
part.
know what I'm saying? I ain't got no more action and nothing. I catch any other type of case, it's over with for me.
And so you got 2 doses of reality slapping you in the face. You got the homeless people right there who you helping, but at any given moment, you know you could be in that situation, and you got the whole it ain't no turning back and ain't no getting back out if I fuck up.
Yeah, because it ain't like, the streets ain't like it used to be no more, man. You got more motherfuckers telling on motherfuckers than, motherfuckers
keeping it a buck.
You feel me?
So that's one question I was going to ask you too. So what you think the biggest difference is from when you went to jail to now being out this last year as far as the game in the streets? And I know, even though I know you ain't really been messing around in the streets, I know you got your ear to the streets, a lot of people, this, that, or whatever the case, and you out so you can get the vibe and the feel and stuff.
I wouldn't, like you be hearing these motherfuckers on the podcast, all other motherfuckers be saying shit and, the streets is dead. That's because you motherfuckers is millionaires. You feel what I'm saying? The streets ain't gonna never be dead.
That part.
You feel what I'm saying? It's always gonna be some street shit going on. So the streets, for motherfuckers that say the streets is dead, that shit is fake as fuck. Now, is it watered down now? 100%. You feel me? They got motherfuckers telling, and growing up back in the day, motherfuckers told motherfuckers to get handled. It's like now, motherfuckers get told, tell on you and come right back to the streets, and motherfuckers still fucking with them.
That part.
Because ain't the first thing come out of mouth, he ain't told on me. You ain't no consequences for the motherfuckers telling no more. You feel me? Ain't no consequences. Now, it's consequences in prison.
Yeah.
But ain't no consequences on the street.
Yeah.
Before, it used to be double-edged sword. It's a consequence on the street, and it's a consequence in prison.
Yeah, ain't no hiding for a rat.
Ain't no hiding for a rat. Now, motherfucker, and rats ain't hiding. They in plain sight.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And they don't give a fuck. Because they know they can easily tell on a motherfucker and be right back on the street. Or not even they working with the feds.
That part.
They're working with the state. So it's like, but like I say, the streets ain't dead. Because the streets gonna be the streets. That's the fabric of this motherfucking world. It's been like that forever.
How you think all of this Fortune 500 stuff?
They the mob. They the biggest
criminals.
Criminals in this motherfucker.
If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. That's a conversation for another day. You know what I'm saying? But that's definitely true.
For the most part, I'm one time I can really say in my life I'm happy, man.
Okay, that's what's up.
I got some real motherfuckers in my corner that's trying to help them. That's always tried to help me, but really steering me in the right direction now. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna do the right shit. That's it. There's more to come from Smokeshop, man. This is just the beginning.
Yeah. I heard you. I heard you was thinking about opening a non-profit too to kind of help.
Yeah, help motherfuckers in prison. It's like one of the main things about motherfuckers in prison. Motherfuckers don't have no family.
Yeah.
Motherfucker have family, but their family is less fortunate to help them out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I can always reach back into the prison system and help motherfuckers finna get ready to come home, give them dress outs, you know what I'm saying? Set them up with getting IDs or pick them up from the bus station or some shit like that. That's what I'm trying to wrap my brain around now on how to put that shit together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but just stay tuned though, because it's coming.
No doubt,
you know what I'm saying? It's coming. Like they say, Rome wasn't built overnight, so this shit is just a process. Everything is a process. You gotta have patience.
Yeah. Discipline, desire, and determination, man. You know what I'm saying? Get the job done.
3 Ds.
Yes, sir. Man, we gonna wrap this up, man. I ain't gonna take up too much of your time, Smokeshop, man. I definitely appreciate you coming through.
Man, for sure,
Money Rich
sure.
TV, fucking with the Broom Zone.
Look forward to it, man. I got some more shit on there rising, man. You know what I'm saying? Smokeshop.
Yes,
Look out for it.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Tap in for the next episode, man. It's the Broom Zone on Money Rich TV, man. We out this thing.